Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for our weekly talk. And this week we're talking about the kind of foods that we're eating with this beautiful weather being around for so long. Many of us are turning to barbecues, which in themselves, as we know, are very healthy. You're cooking meat, and the fat within that meat, because it's cooked on a grill, is actually dropping through onto the coals. Therefore, you're not consuming as much fat, all to the good. Are you cooking that meat very well? If you're not, or you're not sure what to do, the best thing to do is to get one of these. It's a meat thermometer or a cooking thermometer. You can use it for other things. There's the dial. And all you do is put the spike into the food, so into the meat, so chicken breast. The dial will show what temperature it is, and then you check to see what level that should be. You will therefore know exactly whether your meat is cooked or not. If you haven't got one of these, you can just look at the juices that come out of the meat, and generally if there's any pink involved at all, particularly any blood, you would need to put that back on to make sure that it's thoroughly cooked. The other side of that coin, of course, is things that are overcooked, charred, shall we say, or even burned. A little bit of that, again, isn't going to harm you, but if you're having that on a regular basis, it has now been linked to cancer. So we don't want to be eating lots of foods that are carcinogenic. Then you've got the foods that are processed, like your sausages. Again, beautiful to eat on barbecues, but we shouldn't be eating too many because of the high levels of salt. It could be that just one sausage isn't going to do any damage at all, but if you're having 2 or 3, and then you're having it 2 or 3 times a week, plus all of the beautiful continental meats, all highly processed, so they all go through chemical processes and they all contain a very, very high amount of salt. Salt, as we know, can affect our blood pressure, which can increase our risks of heart attack and stroke. Nobody wants to have that, so therefore be careful how many of these you're having. Maybe salads that you're having with your barbecues, wonderfully healthy in themselves. But what do you do with the salads? As we know, it's the dressings that we put on them. All that mayonnaise really does add to the calories and the fat content. So try not to overdo that. It could be you've got all your lovely green salad with the peppers and everything, but then you're helping yourself to potato salad, coleslaw, all those sort of things, all of them based on mayonnaise. You can be consuming a lot more calories than you actually realise. And then you add your own topping to the salad. And talking of toppings, just beware of things like croutons and cheese sprinkled on top, maybe crispy bacon, anything like that. They all add fat, they all add calories. So the salads in themselves, wonderful. It's all the toppings and the things we put on them. Maybe a vinaigrette dressing is something that you would be able to do instead, or perhaps you could just sprinkle a little bit of lemon. Just a squirt of lemon juice is lovely. Are you drinking? Are you drinking lovely cocktails that contain a huge amount of sugar? Sugar can also be damaging to the human body. It can take our blood sugar levels way too high. So the body, knowing that's not healthy, brings the temperature, it's not the temperature, brings the spikes right down, your blood sugar levels right down. And therefore you get a slump. You're craving more of the same, so you want more sugar. You'll go and eat anything that you can find that is sweet, and the whole thing becomes cyclical and can be very damaging. It can even result eventually in people being diagnosed with having diabetes 2. And good news on that, my brother, who was diagnosed 6 years ago with diabetes 2, has now taken his levels down to an acceptable level where he's not, strictly speaking, classed as diabetes 2 anymore. He's done really, really well. Are you eating lots of ice creams and lolly ices because the weather's so warm? I'll only say, remember, a Magnum is almost 300 calories. A mini Magnum is only about 140, and Solero ice cream is only about just over 100, 104 calories. So you can make your choice wisely. Then we go on to what are the good foods? We've mentioned salads, absolutely great. The more you can get in your salad, the more colourful it is, the better. On the barbecue, lean meats, particularly chicken and fish. They cook absolutely beautifully. You can add all sorts of spices and herbs. You can even put marinades on them. Very tasty and very healthy for you. Fruits overall, watermelon I always think looks wonderful and colourful. So try and have as much fruit as you can within the meal and also as a dessert. You know, a whole bowl full of strawberries is absolutely delicious, maybe with a little bit of ice cream if you want to have it. But just be careful you're not adding too much. Kebabs. Again, they can be vegetables or they can be meat and veg mixed. Again, they add a lot of colour and they're bringing in so many nutrients. I was sent, I can't think who sent it to me now, but it was certainly on one of our WhatsApp groups, and it was about cucumber and how good cucumber is for you. And that is full of all sorts of nutrients, minerals and vitamins. Fruit, of course, is full of antioxidants, as is cucumber, which is very good for our skin. So if you can get as much into your salads and your meal generally as possible. Potatoes, if there are any of the new potatoes left, absolutely lovely. Just boil them and serve those up with your salad. They're absolutely delicious. Or a baked potato, very good for you. They're full of potassium, folate, absolutely delicious. Just make sure you don't add too much butter. And generally things like homemade salsa gives a little bit of extra flavour, a little bit of extra interest to your salad. It doesn't have to, as I said, be a lot of these high mayonnaise dressings. Overall, we have to enjoy our food. We shouldn't be, and I'm not in any way saying that you should be sitting there thinking, barbecue, I can't eat half of this, this isn't good for me. Of course we can. We can eat it, just be aware that there are certain things that may not be as good for you as others. We can enjoy it. We do enjoy it. Hopefully this weather will last so that we can have lots more barbecues and general food outside. I hope you're all keeping well. I do still miss you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Take care, everyone. Enjoy those barbecues. Bye now.